According to the World Health Organization, 350 million people worldwide suffer from depression. It is a leading cause of disability. I have done research on the topic of depression since I was a sophomore in high school. I have found a lot of information from a lot of different sources, and most of them state the same things. As a background, the first antidepressant was made in 1974, but depression has been around since at least the second millennium BC. During this time, depression was believed to be a spiritual thing that was caused by demons. It is obviously not thought to be that anymore, and we now know that we can at least try to treat it with medication. People can get depressed for many reasons, including sleeping too much or not enough, alcohol, drug use, and smoking, or because of their family history. So my first point, people can get depressed because of sleeping too much. If you sleep too much, then you can be depressed because you missed out on a lot of your day and something important could have happened that you missed. I have slept in for a really long time, a few times, and I was sad when I woke up because I missed out on almost all of my day. According to WebMD.com, researchers are careful to note, however, that two other factors, depression and low socioeconomic status, are strongly associated with oversleeping. So they have evidence of oversleeping being linked to depression, so it's not just the way I feel when I wake up late. On the other side, if you don't get enough sleep, your brain can't recharge and be fully functional. I have this happen to me all the time, and I know you do too. We don't get enough sleep, and at school the next day, it's hard to pay attention, and you're just falling asleep all day. Matthew Edlund, the author of The Power of Rest, states, "If you don't sleep, you don't have time to replenish brain cells. The brain stops functioning well, and one of the many factors that could lead to is depression. If your brain isn't functioning well, it can make you frustrated or sad that you are falling behind in school, and it might even lead to depression." Sleep isn't the only cause of depression. Alcohol, drug use, and smoking can be factors as well. If you abuse the use of alcohol and drugs, then it can lead to depression. I don't personally know about this because I don't abuse these things, but I can understand how it could lead to depression. As stated on beyondblue.org, drug and alcohol use can both lead to and result from depression. Many people with depression also have drug and alcohol problems. That means that people might start abusing drugs and alcohol because they're depressed. It could go both ways. Smoking can also make you depressed because of how the nicotine affects your brain. The nicotine in cigarettes is addictive, as you already know. But what you probably don't know is that it has been linked to depression in some people. Health.com states, however, nicotine is known to affect neurotransmitter activity in the brain, resulting in higher levels of dopamine and serotonin, which is also the mechanism of action for antidepressant drugs. So, with that quote, it says it might be able to help with depression, but I would strongly recommend against it because smoking is bad for your health and it could possibly make it worse. I wouldn't want to take that risk, and I don't think you want to either. Another cause of depression comes from your genes. You can get it from your parents. People can get depressed because of their family history. If your parents are depressed or have been depressed in the past, then you have an increased risk of being depressed. Depression can possibly run in your family genes. It could be how your family handles bad things, or that they simply just don't let things go and they let it stick with them. BeyondBlue.org states, depression can run in families, and some people will be at an increased risk. But you won't necessarily be depressed because of your family history. Just because your parents are depressed or have been depressed in the past does not mean you will be too. It could basically be just how your parents are, for lack of a better phrase. BeyondBlue.org also states, however, having a parent or close relative with depression doesn't mean you'll automatically have the same experience. Life circumstances and other personal factors are still likely to have an important influence. Your parents could have had something really bad happen in their lives that made them depressed, so you might not be depressed like them because that bad thing didn't happen to you. Also, just a disclaimer, these are my parents, but they do not have depression and they never did have depression, so it's just, yeah. Okay, so in conclusion, people can get depressed for many reasons, including sleeping too much or not enough, alcohol, drug use, and smoking, or because of their family history. Just because any of these affect you doesn't necessarily mean you will suffer from depression. It varies from person to person. I hope that we will be able to bring that number of 350 million people worldwide that suffer from depression down someday soon. Thank you.